Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. That was a match that you would define as a smash and grab, as Liverpool scored a late winner to beat PSG 1-0. So let's go through the key moments of the game. And I also present my player ratings. This is also a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, a link has been pinned in the live chat, so feel free to hit the link, and I will get you on the show later on. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first half. So, what a crazy start to the game, and let's not be around the bush. We got moved to by PSG. They caused us havoc from the first second, producing a number of attacks, and we have to give a huge shout out to Allison, who produced a goalkeeping masterclass today. Some of the key moments came from Dembele, who started the game centrally but switched over to the right wing around that 15th minute mark. And well, he certainly made his mark. His first moment skips past Robbo and McAllister with complete ease on that right side, cuts back a pass towards the danger zone. João Neves hits a bubbling sort of shot that goes over the bar. Then Dembele's at it again. This time it's a cheeky nutmeg on McAllister. He drives the ball and hits a shot towards goal, but it was deflected for a corner kick, and from that corner kick, PSG actually hit the back of the net. It was Kvaratskhelia who hits a lovely curled effort with his left foot into the corner. But after review, VAR ruled it out for offside, which was the correct decision. But the big moment of the game involved Kanate's challenge on Bacola, who's through on goal but brings down the winger using his body strength. Now, the commentators on TNT Sports, who are so anti Liverpool, it's unbelievable. I'm definitely considering not to watch any more games on that channel. Was screaming out for Konate to be given a red card. Now, after reviewing the incident, I don't think it was red card, but at the same time, we may have got a bit lucky there, especially as Konate was the last man and it wasn't quite a shoulder to shoulder challenge. It was pretty much his shoulder onto his back. But having said that, for me, you know, that's very sort of marginal in terms of it being shoulder to shoulder or, on his backside. If that was given as a red card, I think that would have been very, very soft. Um, a foul, yes, it probably could have been a free kick, and a yellow card would have been the right decision, but not a red card. So that would be my stance. But I don't think it was a stonewall red card the way the media pundits are trying to suggest. So I disagree on that point. But before halftime, Dembele leads the attack for PSG again. He applies a shot that is blocked by Allison, but the ball is still loose. It's still around the box. Barcola gets onto the end of it, hits a shot um, towards the target, which was blocked by Sabozlai, and then another chance, but he ends up hitting it over the bar. So that could have been a defining moment for PSG. I'm thankful for Liverpool. Halftime came around, but in the second half, let's be honest, PSG continued where they left off and continued to attack the Liverpool goal. It was this time it was Kvaratskhelia who was pretty much the player trying to break the deadlock. He had a few chances. One involved a direct free kick, and that was fantastically saved by Alisson. Then he had another shot where he cut in from the left hand side, smashed it towards goal, carried away by Alisson. Liverpool hit a counter attack on PSG. Jota drives with the ball, passes to Szoboszlai, who lays it off for Mohamed Salah. He returns the pass back to Szoboszlai. Listen, it was a bit all over the place, just like our performance, and in the end, nothing came from it, as PSG were defending very tightly as a unit and didn't give Liverpool attackers any space to take a shot. So that attack led to nothing. Desiree Doué, who looked impressive when he came off the bench, had a chance off a free kick, but his shot was straight at Alisson. Then moments later, Desiree Doué has another effort as he cuts in from the left hand side, hits a wicked shot towards the top corner. But my goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, produces an unbelievable save with his fingertips, and what a world of a save it was! Probably the best save of the game. That shot 9 out of 10 goes into the top bins, but with Allison in between the sticks. We were thankful that he was there because he saved us once again. Liverpool, moments later, tried to hit another counter attack. It starts from Szoboszlai. He flicks the ball towards Salah. Salah goes for the first time free ball towards Darwin Núñez, but unfortunately hit the pass with no power. Awful attempt from Salah, who, let's be honest, did not have a great game at all. And that leads to Arne Slot taking Salah off and replacing him with Harvey Elliott. And the young star makes an instant impact. What a moment for the Reds. Allison hits it long. Darwin Núñez does fantastically well to control the ball from the air and place the ball perfectly towards Harvey Elliott, who runs into the box and slots it into the bottom corner to score the winning goal. I said it during my watch along. Liverpool just needed that one chance to make the difference, and that's exactly what happened. So overall, I'm ecstatic about this result. Um, I would have been satisfied with a nil-nil draw, to be honest with you. I think that would have been a good result going into the second leg. But after the match, I'm seeing a lot of people suggesting that, oh, Liverpool were lucky. It's the biggest football robbery. Look, say what you want, but I'm going to look at the positives. Let's give credit to our team. They had to adapt to a different way of playing today. They had to remain patient, and in the end, it paid off. Defensively, we were solid as a rock. And the only reason why PSG produced 28 shots towards goal was because of the quality on show. It wasn't defensive mistakes or individual errors. They were just on top form. And when you've got attackers like Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, and Dembele, who have been probably the best attackers in Europe this season, you got to give your hat off to them and give them credit because they were producing moments that only a player in their peak will be producing. They tried their best. They gave their best efforts on goal. But if it wasn't for Alison Becker, it could have been a completely different scoreline. So in the end, let's give some credit to the opposition. They produced a fantastic performance and probably deserve something from the game. But at this level, you have to be clinical in front of goal. It doesn't matter who the goalkeeper is. You need to be on top of your game in front of goal, especially in knockout competitions. But in the end, not enough for them to get over the line. But having said that, it's half time. They've got a second leg coming up. That will, of course, be played at Anfield. I'm expecting an infamous Anfield European night next week. I'm expecting a more dominant, a better performance from Liverpool. The match takes place next Tuesday, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, great win. Really pleased with the result. And yeah, we fight for another day. So hopefully, um, we can secure that win next week and yeah, move on to the quarterfinals. So yeah, great game, great result for Liverpool. So let's move on and do our player ratings. As I mentioned earlier, this is a calling show. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, make sure you hit that link in the live chat. And feel free to join the stream and I'll get you on after the player ratings. So let's bring up the graphics and then we'll go through the player ratings together. Here we go. Where is the graphics? There you go. Let's make the screen bigger. Let's start with the goalkeeper. Come on, I don't need to say too much, but let's just say in terms of courtesy of what we're presenting right now, it's probably one of the best performances I've ever seen. I was going to say from Allison, but I'm probably saying in a goalkeeper altogether. Produced about 9, 10 saves, and they weren't just routine saves, they were unbelievable saves. Saves that you've seen goalkeepers will parry away and it ends up going to another attacker and they score a tap in. Like he was just stopping he was unstoppable to it, honestly. Some of his reflexes, it was like a cat, like it was just jumping around, producing low saves that you're not expecting him to parry away. And even the saves that he's parrying away, they're out of the danger zone. They've gone behind for a corner or throwing, depending on how powerful that save was. Yeah, he was unbelievable today. And look, I saw him wearing a Nike headband, whatever you want to call it. Please continue to wear that because that might give us some good luck going into the upcoming games and of course the end of the season as well. So yeah, phenomenal performance. And look, it's a celebrational sort of evening because we've won today. But I do have to say something as well. A lot of fans in the last few months were suggesting that Alisson was done. He was no longer the Alisson that we've watched over the years, and someone like Kelleher should be taking the reins and becoming number one. There is the reason why Arne has disregarded everything that us fans have been saying. Not me, because I've been saying Alisson has been number one, and for me, it's still top of the class, regardless of having a few average performances. But because he's set the bar so high, when he's producing 7 out of 10s, we think that's poor for his standards. But for an average keeper, he's probably producing top quality performances. So as a fan base, we've got to kind of, you know, monitor or control our sort of expectations for certain players. But Allison, for me, has always been elite. Um, Even when he's had those odd average performances that some people like to suggest, doesn't mean you're a bad goalkeeper overnight. So please let's just remember that. And if anyone still believes Kelleher should be our number one keeper, give your head a bit of a wobble because for me, he's not good enough to be our number one. He's not better goalkeeper to surpass Allison in the pecking order. But that's slightly negative. So let's get back on track in terms of what we've performed today. Yeah, some unbelievable saves. The shot from Desiree Doué, where it literally from the fingertips as well, unbelievable. Kvaratskhelia had a few shots as well. Great saves from that. Yeah, he was everywhere. So in terms of his rating, can't really put into a number, but obviously we've got to do it based on what we do on a weekly basis. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I can't. There's no way you can give him anything lower. If you do, you've got an agenda clearly. So 10 out of 10 performance from Allison. So yeah, definitely watching the highlights again today because what he produced today, a simple masterclass. And I saw a brief interview with Peter Schmeichel saying it's the best performance he's ever seen from a goalkeeper. So that's huge praise for Allison there. So let's move on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I'm not going to lie, I was quite concerned um, for Trent in this fixture because he was up against some of the most informed attackers when you've got Kvaratskhelia, Bajola, who pretty much played left wing throughout the most of that game, and of course Ousmane Dembele, but he predominantly plays in the central area or on the right hand side. I actually think Trent did really well. There was a couple of moments where Barcola got past him. I know Nuno Mendes got past him as well. And there's a few shots that came from the left hand side, but it wasn't down to poor defending. It was just good dribbling and good trickery from the winger who's cut in and then hit a first time shot from distance. I thought in terms of one-on-one duels, I think Alexander Arnold did really well against Barcola, made some crucial blocks as well. I remember there being a cross from Dembele where it looked like there was a player on the far post, but Trent controlled the ball and made the clearance. So I actually thought he had a solid performance in this game. Um, so no, so good rating today. So for me, maybe I'm just happy with the result. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was very solid at right back. Kanate, he was solid as well. But of course, the Barcola one's going to be a big talking point. I still don't believe it was a red card. At most, a yellow and a free kick. It was never a penalty. But I think maybe due to his position, it would possibly lead to a red. I think it would have been very soft to be given that as a red card, honestly. If that was a red card, then, we've got to reevaluate the game again because can't be giving red cards for those sort of moments. But after I do feel like it was playing in the back of his mind. He was a bit more reserved, a bit more cautious in making his challenges. But overall, still had a solid performance in this fixture. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Van Dijk, there was that one moment where the commentator was like, "Oh, where is Van Dijk?" I think it was just a bit of confusion because of the way PSG were attacking, and that can happen when you've got an opponent where they don't have a static striker, they have three attackers roaming around in different positions. The defensive shape can slightly go um, out of the picture at times. But I think Van Dijk for me was solid today, made some good clearances. Um, didn't feel like he was imposed at all today. I don't think Dembele got the best of him or whoever played through the middle of the park. So I feel like whatever came in front of Virgil van Dijk's door, he pretty much handled it really well. So in that regards, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Robertson, I was very concerned for him. I was slightly relieved in the sort of opening 10, 15 minutes because I saw Kvaratskhelia playing on the right hand side. Well, who of course is a talented player, but he's not his his best playing on the right wing. So I thought maybe Robertson can control that side of the pitch. But as soon as Dembele switched over, which I was going is going to happen. Let's be honest. When he switched over to that right hand side, yeah, the first thing he does skips past Robertson and McAllister and did it with quite a bit of ease. But overall, despite one or two moments where the attacker got past him, I actually thought he was decent. He kept things neat and tidy, kept it solid. Not sure why I haven't got Jota on the screen there, but let me put him on. Um, so no, I thought he had a decent game. I was really concerned for Robertson, if I'm being honest with you. But I was under the assumption that Dembele would start on the right hand side, but that wasn't the case. So no, decent performance from Robertson. Um, Made a couple of blocks as well, headed clearances. So I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think he was great as good as Trent on the other side, but I still feel like he had a decent game today. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Gravenberch, yeah, he's just not been showing his supreme form that he did earlier this season. There were times where he gave the ball away quite a few times. I remember there was one pass and it ends up going between Trent and Salah, and we were on the verge of creating a counter attack, and that pretty much broke down. Uh, Lacked that energy around the pitch and wasn't really involved very heavily in our build up or in any other parts of the game. I feel like he was ghosting it today. So I don't feel like he's playing with confidence. He looks probably a bit jaded, if I'm being honest as well. So I feel like he just needs a real break. Maybe a bit of rotation is required at this stage, but obviously we're going through very important fixtures now. So unfortunately, he's going to have to play a little bit more and try and muster up an improvement in his performances. So for this game, I can't really give him a very high rating. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I don't think he was on top of his game, and I feel like he was a passenger on most of uh, the game today. Now, alongside him, McAllister, I thought he was better than Gravenberch, to say the least. I think he definitely put in a shift in. He was the player that was a bit more forward thinking. Whenever he had the ball, he tried to hit forward passes. There were a lot of times where Liverpool couldn't really string along 5 passes at one occasion. He was the one that was shielding off the ball and producing neat touchdowns. So I feel like in terms of on the ball, I thought like he was better in comparison to other players on the pitch. Um, so yeah, I think he had a decent performance, not sort of like a supreme McAllister performance, but I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I don't know what's happened to my laptop. There we go, 7 out of 10. So bottom line, I thought general play was very good in terms of off the ball, which we probably say this every week. Where I feel like his pressing was very, very important to how we set up as a team. Worked really hard, covering a lot of ground. I feel like he was very good on the ball in terms of his first touch and trying to spray past him. And of course, we were finding it very difficult to find that rhythm. But whenever we did, I feel like he was the one that was involved. The only sort of downside to his performance today was just defining moments where, of course, we didn't have a lot of shots on goal, but we had a few counter attacks and just making those key sort of decisions to either take a shot or laying it off to Salah, ended up being a wasted opportunity because we ended up having a shot in the end. But that's me really nitpicking. But I thought he put in a shift today, and I thought he definitely tried to make things happen for the team. I thought like he had a bit more positive outlook in comparison to the other players. So for that, I'm going to give him a rating of 7.5 out of 10. Salah, let's not be around the bush. I thought he was awful today. Really poor. Barely got involved in the game. Didn't really take on Nuno Mendes, and whenever he did, he pretty much ran into him more than Mendes tackled him. Uh, of course, helped out defensively on that right hand side for Trent. But from an attacking point of view, his decision making was awful. He had a couple of occasions where he needed to hit a first time through ball, couldn't do it. The one for Nunes that comes to mind here with no power. Then he had another moment where there's like four players in the box, and then he decided to hit a first time pass where he needed to, control it, be a bit more calm, and then go for the best option. He just went with, I wouldn't even say instinctive pass. He felt the pressure coming from Nuno Mendes. So as soon as the ball came, he literally just kicked it up and hoped for the best. And for me, that's not what we wanted at the time. We weren't creating a lot of chances. So anything that came for us, we had to make sure it meant something. And it just felt like a waste whenever he had the ball. So for me, a poor performance from the Egyptian King. So I have to give him a 3 out of 10. And I'm only giving him three because I feel like he helped out from a defensive point of view, helped Trent out on that right hand side, but attacking wise, really, really poor. So low rating for him. Diaz on the other side, I don't think was any better, to be brutally honest. Um, but having said that, I feel like he definitely worked hard for the team. He definitely helped out Robertson, which is probably why Robertson has a decent score of 7 there, because of someone like Luis Diaz who covered the ground when required, make some important blocks. He was defending more than attacking, say, which of course is not his natural game, but he had to do it for the team. He had to play a huge role to make sure that there's not a lot of invasion on that right hand side. Hakimi playing at right back was inverting quite a bit, so it was Diaz's job to make sure he never created any chances or had a shot and goal. He had a few efforts, but nothing that was clear cut. So I think in that regards, he definitely worked hard, definitely made things happen. From a defensive point of view, attacking wise, not involved. Unfortunately, very, very little involvement in what we produced. So I can't give him a very high rating. So for me, Diaz gets a 5 out of 10. Just for his hard work in terms of what he helps for the team. Jota I found a bit frustrating, if I'm being honest. There are quite a few occasions where his first touch was a bit poor. He just didn't seem like he was on the same wavelength as the players or the game in general. And I feel like because PSG were playing with such intensity, I think he was a bit head lost. Like he just couldn't keep up with the speed of the game. And that led to him being in positions where he's not really effective. And it also led to decisions where he's trying to play at his speed, but because he's slower than the game, he's taking way too long in the end. He's either getting tackled or he's lost possession or the touch is too heavy. So I feel like that led to him not having an impact on the game. And I thought it was very, very average. They didn't really pose any sort of attack on goal. So with that said, I'm going to give him a rating of 4 out of 10. I think it was just slightly better than Salah, but not as good as Diaz, which is not a great thing to say out loud, but that is the reality. So that is my player ratings. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Have I been generous for some? Have I been a bit harsh on others? Feel free to let me know. Um, in terms of the man of the match, could be another person that could be man of the match, but for me, um, no one comes close to being man of the match. For me, it's Alison Becker, and there will be other players that will have similar ratings, but in terms of what he produced throughout the whole game, no one touches him. So for me, Alison Becker is man of the match. So feel free to let me know who your man of the match is. I'm sure it'll be Allison, or it could be the match winner, who we're going to discuss very, very shortly. So let's bring on the subs that came onto the pitch. So let's bring on Darwin Nunes. He replaced Diogo Jota. And nope, that's not the player I'm looking for. Nunes, there you go. And then we've also got Curtis Jones replacing Luis Diaz. There he is. And then we've also got Endo replacing Gravenberch. And we've also got Mohamed Salah being replaced by Harvey Elliott. So let's start with Darwin Nunes. I actually thought he did really well. When he came on, it was a bit of a tricky game because I thought he would have played a bit more centrally and have an impact in terms of affecting the game, whether it's him, going physical with the centre backs of PSG or just causing havoc or attacking behind the defensive line. Unfortunately, due to the way PSG were playing, that wasn't possible. They had majority of the possession of the ball, and as a unit, we had to keep shape. So for large parts of the game, Darwin Núñez was actually playing a not left wing role, but he's pretty much positioned on the left side, uh, just because we need to form numbers like a brick wall basically to make sure they couldn't get through us. So he didn't really have the impact that I think he was expecting or Arsenal would have liked him to have had from a central position. But that wasn't down to his. That was just down to what was happening on the pitch. PSG were just in full control, and they made some alterations that ended up having more midfielders in the central area. So we couldn't really do much in regards to that. But of course, he was involved in the defining moment. Allison put the ball in the air. I thought Nunes was going to head it down, but I think due to the pressure from the centre back, it kind of hit both of them and then controlled it down. Fantastic. And the pass, look, in terms of distance, it should be a routine pass, should be an easy pass. But I've seen players, hit with too much zip, or they've angled it where the player that's attacking the box has to run a bit too much, or in the end ends up getting involved in a 50-50 challenge with the centre back that's trying to make ground and make that crucial block. But the pass was perfectly weighted for Harvey Elliott, who literally came driving into the box. Didn't have to control it. The ball was pretty much, slowing down, and he's had to place it into the corner, and he did that fantastic. And that came from Darwin Núñez in terms of his impact, him bringing the ball down and laying off the pass for Harvey, and obviously notching up an assist there. So for his rating, um, I had to give Darwin Núñez an 8 out of 10. I thought great impact. Of course, when he came on, a bit difficult to have an impact on the game, but when you have a crucial moment like that, you of course deserve a better rating. So for me, he gets an 8 out of 10. Curtis Jones, likewise, had a great impact on the game. Just liked his aggression. I liked the way he was pressing on the other players. There's that one moment where Hakimi got the ball off him, and then he just wasn't having it. He ran back, literally used all his body strength, nudged him out the way, and claimed the ball with real purpose and real aggression. I love to see that from our players. So he wasn't messing around. He was a man on a mission. Like, he was trying to make sure nothing was going to get past us. Worked hard for the team, and yeah, for me, produced a good account for us. And that's what we want from your subs. You might not need to be heavily involved in the goal or the assist, but if you work hard for the team, it does get nice, and that's exactly what happened in this fixture. So for Curtis Jones, I'm going to match his score with Nunes. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Wataru Endo, what performance from him! I love these cameos from Endo when he comes on. It's just expected now. When it goes around that 70th minute mark, 70, 75, we're expecting the entrance of Wataru Endo. Should probably have some theme music now because it's expected every time he plays. Um, yeah, he was not messing around. I feel like due to Gravenberch's sort of lack of energy in the game, when Endo came out, it just became evident that he was the player that we needed at that time, because the first thing he did was a crunching tackle on João Gomez. Sorry, not João Gomez, João Neves, who, to be fair, I was very impressed with. He produced a lot of good moments for PSG, and one thing that really stood out was his energy and his engine. Like, he was just running around everyone at pitch. And when Endo made that crunching tackle, I think Neves was like, "Oh, okay, fine. I need to be a bit more calculated to what I do, because I've got this guy that's gonna rush in and make punching tackles on me whenever I have the ball." So that led to PSG probably be playing more sort of sideways passes because of Endo's impact. But other than that, he was helping out Trent on that right hand side when Desiree Doué was playing on that left side. So made a lot of blocks there, made some crunching tackles, good passing when needed. So no, another great performance from Endo. So he gets, for me, I sound a bit over the top, but I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I was impressed with his performance. And the final player, Harvey Elliott, who pretty much scored a goal with his first and probably only touch. I don't know if he touched the ball after that, and scored a match winner at that stage. You can't really go through analyzing a player's performance because he literally came off for about a couple of minutes and scored the match winner. So that's all you want, really. So I can't give him another score than 10 out of 10. How can you beat that? You've come off the bench, you score your first touch, and you score the match winner. So it's only right you get a 10 out of 10. But for me, man of the match is Allison, even though they share the same score. I thought Allison was just out of this world. He really was. But big moment for Harvey Elliott. Hopefully, this will push him on to really knock on that door for starting players or to be involved a bit more. Since that Plymouth game, we've not really seen much of him on the pitch. So hopefully, this will regain some faith with the coach that he can still do a job and he can still have an impact for this team because unfortunately his future is in the air. Whether we like to say it out loud or not, it is because he's one of those players that hasn't really found that run of game on a slot, and you have to question: is he Arne Slot's type of player? Is he good enough to be in his squad? I'll speak for myself. I've always rated Elliot. I think he's a great talented player. I feel like in that number 10 role, he can definitely have an impact for us. I don't quite see him as a starter. I feel like he's a great squad player to have, someone that can have an impact off the bench, and you do need those players. And his attitude is second to none. Of course, he's a boyhood red, and he's always, put his heart on his sleeve and always gives his all. And I feel like you need to have those players in your squad. You need to have that sort of core in your team that he's grown up being a Liverpool fan, so it means a bit more than it would be for another player that's just coming in just to do a job, basically. So I hope he stays at the club. I can't say for certain that he will, but when he's producing moments like this, hopefully that can sway the coach's thinking, and hopefully he has a long-term future at the club. But in terms of today's game, great impact off the bench, scores with his first touch. So yeah, great moment, and I'm sure Salah will be pleased for him as well. Salah's taking him under his wings to show him the ropes, and hopefully Harvey can score more clutch moments like he did today. So yeah, big moment for the young star. So for me, can't give him a score other than 10 out of 10. If you give me something a bit low, that's a bit harsh in my opinion. The guy scored the match winner. What more do you want? So yeah, so that is my rating for today. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, in terms of upcoming content, I'll be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Southampton tomorrow evening at 11 p.m. And then on Saturday, we'll be doing a live watch along of that fixture, plus a match reaction later in the evening. So lots of shows coming your way. So please feel free to hit that notification bell so you know what time I go live. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So, guys, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.